Words about books, Ben.
It's Words About Books, Nate.
So I'm gonna give a recap, but I was gonna tell you a story yesterday when we were gonna stream, and now I'm just gonna tell you it on air here. You can decide if you what you want to do with that.
Okay.
So have you gotten a massage before, Ben?
No, I don't. I don't enjoy them.
Oh wow. So you had So you had to have gotten one before if you didn't enjoy it.
I mean, I've done that thing where like a partner or somebody gives you a massage. I don't care for it.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Yeah, no, I probably need more of them. Like deep, like I'm gonna hurt, but it's gonna help me out in the long run.
Well, you have back problems.
Not so much.
I've never thrown my back out.
Oh, okay. Well, I have thrown my back out before.
I consider
less so
somebody
in the past
your
few
age,
years, though.
Somebody your age, somebody a few years younger than you, throwing their back out. I consider to have back problems.
Nursing.
Yes, you have a reason for having back
Right.
problems, but you have back problems.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I haven't had a problem in years, but that's because I went from doing. I basically just do desk work anymore. So, no, I have like tension in my calves, and so my muscles are really tense, and then they start to spasm. So I'm getting better actually.
That's good.
But my wife was like, "Hey, I'll pay for a couples massage for Valentine's Day." I'm like, "Great." And it's nice to feel like that we have money. And so I'm over here celebrating that I got a free pizza yesterday.
Everything's coming up, Nate.
Everything's coming up, Nate. Well, I got that free pizza because I had to spend like $900 replacing all the tires on my car, but
I could replace all the tires on my car for less than that. Yeah, fancy tires, my friend. Well, you know what? With inflation, I honestly don't know. I haven't replaced all my tires in a while.
Yeah, here's hoping you don't have to, because that was the low end. Well, it was also, they had to replace a sensor and do an alignment, so it's probably more like, I think it was closer to $700. Oh, and an oil change.
Well, while you were out getting free massages and...
it wasn't free.
Well, while you were out getting gifted massages and free pizzas, your boy was getting high blood pressure.
Nice.
So, actually, you know what?
Massage could help that.
No, you know what? I have realized since I have been on the high blood pressure medication, I think this might have been like half my problem.
It is a feedback loop. Your blood pressure gets high, you'll feel more anxious, and if you feel more anxious, your blood pressure will get high.
I've noticed today was the first day I felt like normal on it. The last 2 days I was like very tired from it. But no, I noticed like just an absence of like a squeezing in my entire body. Like it just feels like less tense.
Pressure.
Yeah, pressure, I guess. Maybe there was some pressure there. Because I have like genetically, I'm pretty high risk for this, aside from just being a fat podcaster. My mom had it, my grandmother had it, my grandfather had it, my father had it. It's like I was probably going to deal with it, and being a fat podcaster certainly hasn't lowered my risk. My sister's on the opposite side. She's got that Hashimoto's.
Nice. Living the dream.
Yeah. So, but no, I feel good. I went, driving, and I was like, oh, I feel kind of anxious about this. And I got a little nervous, and then, it went away.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, living the dream. I, on the other hand, Ben, going back to my massage.
Yeah. I would love to hear more about your calves.
Yeah. No problem. I said where my problem area is, my fucking calves and my feet. And
good.
Like, okay.
Yeah, no, everybody wants to hear about your fucking feet.
Yeah. Subscribe to my OnlyFans and you'll hear all about it.
I hope you tipped.
But unfortunately, we did.
Good. If you have somebody rubbing on your feet, you have to tip them.
Yeah, well, that's where the problem comes in, Ben. That's why this is a fucking story. Because they're like, all right, we'll also do your glutes. I'm like, great. You do whatever. First of all, it starts out by just like touching my leg. Like, I've never had to tell someone, like, you need to go deeper. Like, usually they push so hard it hurts that I'm like, holy shit, like, you like lighten up. No, this is like touching. Like, there was no muscle stimulation at all. It was all skin. And then starts massaging Ben.
Nate, you told me I could leave in however much of this I want because I know which clips I'm isolating.
Yeah, you do. She's massaging the top of my foot, Ben.
All right.
I've never had anyone massage the top of my foot.
Not a lot of muscles there, no.
I was going to say, there's a bone there.
Yeah.
Not a lot of muscles there. You know, where do you, when you stand up, where do you hold the weight in your body, right? What does it sit on? Is it the top of your fucking feet or is it the bottom?
It would be the bottom. But that's the gross part.
And then she at the end she was like, hey, you had a lot of tension here, and she's pointing like the fronts of my legs. Like, yeah, there's
shins?
A lot of tension. Yes, in my fuking it's a bone. It's not a muscle. That's a bone.
If you were feeling a lot of tension there, that might be because it's those are
massaging my shins and the tops of my feet.
Okay, now where did you guys go? Did you go to like a spa?
It was a reputable place, and we've been there before, but we had a different masseuse who actually worked on my fucking legs. Apparently this is the same masseuse who my wife had before. My wife was like, my back is killing me. Can you work on my back? And this person massaged her hands for an hour.
So why do you keep going back there?
This is the first time I've had this person, and my wife picked her out for me. Maybe my wife doesn't like it. Because normally we have different masseuses, and my wife was like, I had a great massage, because she had a different person, obviously. It was a couple's massage.
So basically there were two available.
There were two available.
And she knew which one you were going to get.
Yes.
Well, I don't...
She said that my knees might be loosened.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't want that anyway. Please don't make my knees loose.
No, yes, yeah. I was gonna say I don't have a great window into your marriage. I don't know Caitlin as well as I know you, but I've ran a D&D game for both of you, and I would describe you as well married. Well and truly married people.
Oh, all right, Ben. I'll tell you about what happened last time to my best of my memory in the Ship of Destiny.
All right.
So we've got main character man. I don't remember anyone's name.
Sam Bitka.
Sam Bitka. He is an officer in one of the nations of the Earth's navies.
The only one that matters.
USA, 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 USA.
And look, we are sorry for what we've become, but still,
Yeah, but does your country have a space force? Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're going to put a Burger King in space.
Get on our level. So he filed some sort of report that a well-connected guy in the military, whose family is all military, that guy's an asshole. So he basically has destroyed and torched his career. But before he has time to really think about that, weird alien probe comes into the system and hijacks the ship by making the warp drive shoot them out of known space. And they're like, well, can we just fly back? And they can't, because every time they try and boot up the drive, it will take them even further away. And they're not going to have enough human food, because food was a big issue. So they just go to the what are they called? They arrive in the star system that it wanted them to go to.
They call it destination.
So they're the Desties.
The Desties.
So they make contact with the Desties, and eventually they need to make an offer. They're going to come down to discuss an offer, but it turns out that meant offering. And these ugly looking owl creatures start eating the crew. So he launches a nuke, destroys all the satellites around the planet, kidnaps one of them, and then goes and hides in the shadow of a ship flying to like the outer solar system. And that's, I think, where we left off. Oh, and these owls can apparently eat all of the foods.
Yeah, I think you pretty much got it. There was one thing I neglected to mention that is going to be pretty important.
You bastard.
When they attacked the planet did mount some sort of defense, and it's a little bit of a mystery exactly what they did.
Oh, okay, because you made it sound like that they just got their asses kicked pretty quick.
They did. They missed, but they fired something.
Oh, okay. Because you made it sound like they haven't even rebuilt satellites in orbit.
They haven't.
They're completely... It sounds like they're maybe not that technologically advanced.
They are. It's complicated. So the thing they fired, they detected some kind of particle beam being fired through the planet, like from the other side of the planet through the core of the planet to try to hit their ship. And only when the beam was within range of their ship did it become light and like a laser.
Okay.
And that's going to be important. And I'll talk a little bit about what that is. Also, shortly after they flee, more message probes start warping out of the system.
Oh, great. So they're going to bring in more people.
Yes. Now, let me check my notes.
Wait, message probes like they're going to contact other members of their species? Okay, so not like probes that are going to hijack more ships.
Well, it's the same sort of thing, but yeah, it's assumed that they're calling for help. So I think we'll start with this is going to go a little bit of out of order. I know everybody out there has read this book. They could definitely find it. Oh, I also was I was informed by many people, and this is my bad, genuine correction. I think I misgendered Robin Hobbs last episode. She is a woman. I will admit fully to never having heard of Robin Hobbs until I tried to Google this book and found out that Robin Hobb is way more famous. John Bierce was telling me I need to read her work, so that might be something to add.
Who?
In the future.
Oh, is this the other ship of destiny?
Yeah, this is the other ship of destiny.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, this is the ship of destiny I'm familiar with. Apology to Robin Hobb. Did not realize that was a female writer. My bad. So I'm going to do things a little out of order of the book. And I'm going to do that because we just need to there's no good way to get some of the exposition in. But it is woven in better with mostly through talking to some of the scientists Bick is working with and the Guardian herself. We're going to find out that Bitka orders his scientist, who is a civilian who just happens to be a passenger on this. But she's pretty well respected, not quite in this field, but close. She studies alien biology, alien genetics. She's not a microbiologist. I am going to be leaning on your knowledge of biology here, Nate. because
you sniffed right before you said that. You paused.
I don't know. Some of this sounds not quite right to me, but I don't know enough to say for sure. The scientist, the first thing the scientist says is the Guardians are designed creatures. They are intelligently designed. Looking at their genetics, it is obvious.
I mean, how is that different from all of God's creatures, Ben?
Well, she's going to tell you. For starters, they're immortal.
Shit. Can I also be, or at least like, can I like choose when? Like,
okay, so
get that Numenorian or that.
This is where I need your help. Technically, we will find out the Guardians could make you immortal.
Oh hell yeah!
They could actually.
Are they going? But they might also just eat me. Is what you're telling me.
Who do you trust? So, not. We'll also find out that the Guardians are not like all on the same page at all.
Okay, when you say immortal, I assume you mean like they can't die a natural death.
They don't age.
Okay, yeah,
but they're
still
not
definitely
invincible.
Hit them with a nuke.
Yeah, it's not the Mario Star thing. We've killed 3 of them.
Yeah,
that was like arguably the first thing we did when we met. Humans 1, Guardians 0, -3, I guess. Well, they did eat a couple of people, so we'll call that a tie. Yeah. Now this is where I get a little confused, and I've never fully understood this, to be clear. The biologist says that actually most organisms are immortal, not complex organisms, but all or most microscopic, like single-celled life is immortal, in that it just divides and divides and divides and divides. And I was to understand, I've never fully understood this, but I was to understand that I know like human cells aren't the same as like a single, like a protozoan, but I was to understand cells can kind of age. I don't know a lot about this. Does a protozoan that divides in half,
they can replicate, and then
does it ever
but there is still the possibility that replication causes a cell that isn't viable due to replicative error.
Okay, but barring that, like that's a fairly rare occurrence. I know that's how evolution happens and everything, but they do just divide, forever. Basically, that's the goal, right? They don't have a ticking clock. It's just like
it looks like E. coli, for example. It creates an old pole, which is the parent cell, and a new pole, which is the daughter cell. And over time, the old pole cell accumulates damage and ages and eventually stops division.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought.
It seems like they can reset the biological clock by dividing, but eventually you give it enough times, you'll eventually get a cell that isn't viable because it's just divided and divided and divided and divided and divided.
So that was that's the piece I think I was missing, because I had heard that a cell can only divide so many times, but I was like, well, then how do they not just go extinct? But it's not like when they divide, we get 2 equally old cells. We get like a new cell and the parent cell.
Yeah, some of them are new cells and a dying parent cell. Sometimes they're 2 new rejuvenated cells, but they eventually one of them will inherit deformities and damage.
It sounds like it does sound like the biology is like mostly on track here. I thought that was a weird claim, that like most microscopic life was, and by microscopic I do mean like single celled. That's what I'm probably using the wrong words, because I know you can have multicellular microscopic life. I did get through the 8th grade, but that's about when I stopped paying attention to biology. So okay, that makes sense. This is where it gets sticky again, because I'm going to say the reason most single-celled life is immortal, according to this, is because it has don't know if this is true of most single-celled life, but we'll see. Circular chromosomes.
Circular chromosomes? For what?
I guess they're saying circular chromosomes, like literally shaped like a circle. It starts dividing by like there's like like signals at like both poles, and then they move around, splitting the chromosome in half and creating two circular chromosomes, which I guess he's saying it's a less damaging process than our own DNA replication, which is a little messier, I guess, and more error prone. But the reason we do it,
apparently they can get tangled up potentially during replication.
Which one?
Circular chromosomes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he made it sound pretty ideal, and it didn't. That sounded a little simple to me.
Yeah, I think it is a reduction, because if circular chromosomes were like the ideal functional immortal, like we'd have them, right?
Well, no, he's arguing that they go on to say that part of the reason we don't have circular chromosomes, even though that would be like immortality, is because the circular chromosome only works if the amount of genetic information is relatively simple.
Yeah.
But if you want to get complicated, you have to start like folding things around. Like there's only so much room in a cell, so you got to
yeah. And we have telomeres, so that when we copy cells, if there's error replicating, what's lost is usually junk code at the end of the strands. But eventually you run out of those, and then you start having
I've heard
problems.
it described like a cap on a shoelace that,
yeah, like the plastic tips on a shoelace.
So I knew about that, and they do talk about that, and that's why we age. And he's like, so we need all this information to have complex life. How's she getting away with circular chromosomes? And
turns out she's not that complex.
So they talk about how we have a lot of junk DNA, or DNA that serves a purpose at one point in our life but gets shut off or not expressed as we age. So like some of the DNA that we use like for the development as a fetus, we don't need once we're born, or some of the stuff we use as a child we don't need once we reach adulthood. And that just
but it would be cool to be able to regrow like a kidney.
Yeah. So he's like, we don't use that, but it's still there taking up space in our genetic code. We also have like relics of viruses that were incorporated into our DNA that were non-damaging. So
yeah, one of them enabled us to have speech outside the Sumerian language. I was there for that.
Yeah.
It was a virus, and also a computer virus.
That's right. And I enjoyed one of the comments on the YouTube channel. The cyberpunk people hate you and they love me. One of the comments on the YouTube channel for Snow Crash was, it's nice. It's a good episode, but I wish the guy who thought he was funny would stop interrupting with non sequiturs. And I was like,
you know what?
I'll run that by him.
No deal. Might be the person who talked about how awesome I was after Mona Lisa Overdrive.
Like I said, the cyberpunk people, they love the episodes, and they just want to hear about more cyberpunk. I think that's the thing.
Well, we could have talked more about pooning. Is that what you wanted? You want to talk about more of that poon?
It's not what I want. So,
I was pretty well restrained in that second episode too. I remember
this was on the first episode.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because that second episode, I took my medication, but I took a full dose instead of a half dose.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's still like that was still active like 13 hours after I took it. So I actually had trouble going to sleep that night. So,
but it made for a great episode. We got only positive comments on that episode.
Is that true? Or are you just making that up?
There is one comment, but it is positive.
What did it say, Ben?
I think it's a great episode or something. It didn't mention either of us specifically. But anyway,
Welcome to Words About Books.
Yeah. Anyway.
I will interrupt Ben all the time. That's what I do.
Neither of us ever diverts from the book to talk about something completely unrelated.
Exactly.
Anyway, she, the Guardian, doesn't have junk DNA, doesn't have viruses, doesn't have any DNA other than the DNA she needs as an adult.
Oh, but that's because it's an engineered
being. This is what's causing the scientists to conclude that she's engineered.
How does it never get a virus? Is there an explanation for that?
It's not that it never gets a virus. It's just that presumably they can remove it from. Like
they could just go into their DNA code and then just remove it.
Yeah, so somebody has designed them. She also comments that the Guardian. This is I think what led to the fatal flaw on the cover. The Guardian does not blink.
Okay. All right. That's
Now he does mention that the Guardian, you can't see the whites of her eyes because her irises are so big, but I
think you can on the cover, right?
Yeah, you definitely can. It's two dots. That's why it looks like a cartoon. But it's staring wide-eyed at you because she does not blink, because her eyes are not like the scientist says every intelligent species we've come across blinks, because every intelligent species we've come across followed a similar evolutionary process to ourselves in that they started in water. The eye was fully formed in water and needs to be moistened. But since this creature seems to have been designed, top down as a land animal, it's been designed with eyes that do not need to be moistened.
Are they okay? I'm trying to wrap my head around that one. So they're not. Are they dry eyes and it doesn't matter, or are they eternally, like, they produce their own moisture?
I think they're just dry.
What if I threw water on her eyes?
It'd probably be hard to see.
Would it burn?
Maybe.
Wait, can they even blink? What if dust gets in their eyes?
I don't.
Because that's part of the reason of dusting, of blinking, is you tear up and the tear removes the debris that gets in your eye.
I don't know. It's never mentioned again, and it doesn't matter.
What if they weld and the metal fragments get lodged in their unblinking eyes?
I think they'll just genetically engineer.
Can't remove it?
They'll just cut out that eye and put in a new eye.
Okay.
They're very advanced.
Okay.
Like, what if you scratch a lens on a camera? You just get a new camera. Yeah.
Yeah, but the camera's not alive.
Oh, their camera.
Are you going to tell me that
their camera would be alive because all of their technology is alive?
Ew,
all of their stuff is some kind of like biomechanical hybrid.
Ew.
Gross. And that's what, because he tells her, like, I took out all the satellites, and she's like, why would you kill a fucking satellite? And he's like, what do you mean kill a satellite? She's like, they were thinking, feeling creatures. And he's like, why would you make your satellites thinking, feeling creatures?
Why do they need to feel pain? Come on.
And she says there's no intelligence without pain. She's like, in order to be conscious, you need
no intelligence with the level of pain we gave them.
Yeah. So. Well, she's like, in order to have intelligence, you need to have pain and pleasure. Like she's like, I keep forgetting you only fly metal ships. You humans are so weird. No, of course our satellites are capable of feeling pain. Everything we build can feel pain.
Does she ever tell them why they kidnapped them by sending a probe to?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
So this is part of the info dump that's coming with the Guardian interviews, and this is a series of interviews over a couple of chapters. He slowly builds a rapport with her. There's a part I'm going to gloss over where she's constantly trying to, for lack of a better word, shtup him.
Why do they need to have intercourse?
They do not. They do not. In fact,
why do they even have that as a function if they?
Because it's fun.
Okay.
They said that.
There's not a lot of animals in nature that actually enjoy sex. It's just like
dolphins do.
Yeah, but cats don't.
Well,
they got some spiky ones down there.
Right now, I've given one, you've given one, so I think it's about 50-50 in nature. So.
I can only think of dolphins, bonobos, and humans as being as actually enjoying it.
I'm not Googling this.
Yeah. So, you're gonna duck go it, Ben. That's the thing I keep seeing.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. No, she can, but I guess it's just a choice. So there's an interesting thing. There's an argument that a couple of the scientists have before they actually reach the system. And the one sort of computer science cyberneticist is arguing that the life they're likely to encounter is robotic because machines would have an easier time surviving in space. An advanced alien race isn't going to risk transporting themselves. They're going to transport the bare minimum material and then like build machines when they get there and all that stuff. And the engineer argues that saying that there would be he doesn't think advanced general intelligence is possible because he thinks like these
ChatGPT.
Well, because he thinks like these people think that he says when you can teach a machine how to have an orgasm, then I'll believe you can teach it to be self-aware. He believes that like the survival drive is a key feature of intelligence, and
but the survival drive isn't dependent on orgasms and pleasure.
True, but this guy is also this is the guy who's having a bit of an arc, so he's painted as a dick at the beginning, but when they find out that she's an engineered creature, the cyberneticist comes back and says, what if somebody found a way to give a machine an orgasm?
Shit.
Are these not biological machines?
I can tell you that humans are probably trying that very thing at this very minute.
I'd say
probably
it's
have been for years.
Yeah. It's been the key driver of the economy these past 10 years. If we're not trying to build sex robots, then why is anyone investing in NVIDIA?
I wish this asshole over here would quit interrupting me with his non sequiturs.
This wasn't a non sequitur. This was a sequitur. It came naturally from. That's a whole side tangent. But now I'm going to tell you, Bitka. This is the last book this guy's written, so I
think it was 2020.
Yeah, and I'm worried about him. I'm worried he's gonna.
This is the second author that we have read that we've been like, has anyone heard from this guy? We're kind of worried he's like dead or something.
I don't think he's dead. I just hope he's well enough to finish the series because this ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger. No, I mean it's kind of self-contained. But
I don't know about that one guy who wrote that horror book that every single.
I don't think so. But he doesn't develop a romantic relationship with her, but it's not like off the table by the end of the book. He likes her as a friend, and he's got rules about like he's like they have these discussions about morality and stuff, and he's definitely trying to like just dodge the question entirely because he does not want to think about having sex with an owl because he doesn't watch anime, and he's like, you're my prisoner. There's all kinds of problems with that power dynamic, and she's like, I'm not your prisoner. But it's cute that you think that. And
what, can you survive in space?
Can
she survive in space?
I don't know. We don't see that, but she is like 8 feet tall. And
yeah, I mean, but you blow up good. And if you can't survive in space, I've got an airlock that I could introduce you to.
Well, she'd rip your arms off first, but
I mean, we've got guns. Are you invulnerable to guns?
I don't think they're carrying guns inside the spaceship. Is she
wearing the Superman symbol on her shirt?
No, a lot of people have been talking about that.
Is she wearing metal underpants? because I can't tell what that is, but it looks weird on the cover.
They might mention some sort of like suit. I don't know. They took some liberties with the outfit on the cover, and a lot of other things on the cover. And regardless, so that's happening in the background because starting to like the prisoner, and the prisoner is like hinting that she's sympathetic to them. She also reveals that because they live forever, or though they live forever, she can really only recall with any kind of clarity the last like 400 to 500 years. She has external records of her entire personal history, but the memory doesn't hold an infinite amount of data. It does kind of
seems like that immortality is
well, she says
maybe fucked up.
Well, yeah, and she says that she's actually grateful for that because with just 400 or 500 years of data, she's bored.
Yeah, she's got that elf problem.
Yeah, she's like, I've had like every conversation you could imagine. I've seen
that's why she
everything you can imagine.
Get captured, right?
Yeah, exactly. She's chronically bored. And she even says that a lot of Guardians, there's not a ton of them. She's like, there's definitely less than 1 million Guardians. And we don't, like, a lot of Guardians just kind of wind up ending it because they're done.
Yeah, I don't need to be immortal. Yeah. I just want more than 100 years,
No, and she says
let me just flip my on switch to off, and I'll decide when it's time for me again.
Yeah, no, and so that's kind of what they do. And she's like, so what most Guardians are looking for, like some Guardians get obsessed with their projects, or like all Guardians are kind of like looking for.
Yeah, they're amazing string or rope. I mean, they're amazing rope. They're magical wooden bows. They cultivate trees that haven't been seen since the first age.
Just keep like making seductive magical jewelry that everyone dies over. But no, they also there's hobbyists, she calls them. And I'll get into that in a moment, but one of the things Guardians do that's kind of common across the board is when they colonize a new system, because there are so few Guardians, they're not going to like do all the work of an economy. They're going to take whatever animal looks the cleverest and genetify them into an intelligent civilization.
Why are you going to make your own economy? That sounds like the kind of thing that you do when you're hundreds of years old. You get your hobbies. I'm going to simulate a full-on economy.
Yeah, no, I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to like, work in the factory. I'm going to manage it. I'm going to tell these people, I'm going to be the god of these people and tell them how they should plan it, like a video game.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
So that's what they do. They just create wherever they go, they just create an intelligent species. And that species eventually develops an economy, and all they ask in exchange is like, I want an iPad. You're going to bring me offerings. You're going to get me spaceships. You're going to make me food.
Sometimes we eat you.
Wait,
why do they need to eat if they're functionally immortal?
I assume they still need to make more Guardian.
Okay.
I think they still need to eat and breathe and all that stuff.
Guess that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
So they do that, and there's these hobbyists that sort of like to do it competitively. They like to build a civilization from the ground up, paint them just so, and then put them on a board with another guy who also built an army, and then they fight.
Great, thanks God.
And she calls them hobbyists. They're war gamers.
They're wargamers. The worst kind of hobbyist. Not because what they're doing is morally wrong, but because they're fucking nerds.
Just to be around. Yeah. No, she talks about the hobbyists, the wargamers. Because he asks, like, do you guys have an army? And she's like, never needed one. Never met anyone that wasn't us. Or that we didn't make. Which is why she's so interested in these people, because like a Guardian didn't make them. They haven't.
Do we know that for certain?
We're pretty certain a Guardian didn't make humanity. We're less certain about the Viroki.
Oh wow. Okay. But wait, who made the Guardians? Do we know that?
No. And they're interested in the Guardian history, and she says, when we're done with this, I'll give you access to whatever you want. I'd love to hear what you think about it.
There's a done with this? We're actually gonna go home?
She's on their side. She's like, I'd love to get you home. I'd love to meet a whole civilization of you. A bunch of murderous, self-evolved apes.
Fuck yeah.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Give you our records of the 21st century. It'll be just real enlightening.
But she tells them that this civilization, one of the guys they murdered was called the Eye of Padon.
Sounds like a real dick. I'm glad he's dead.
He was. But not as big a dick as Padon.
Oh, okay.
And Padon, he founded this system with a guy named, I don't know how you're supposed to say this, M''EETOS. I'm going to call him Mitos.
Apostrophe EES?
EETOS.
Mitos. Yeah.
I'm going to call him Mitos. So Mitos and Padon founded this particular system. They created the Desties. Padon takes a particular joy in making up backgrounds for the Desties, because they don't tell the Desties that, like, oh, we kind of turned a sort of clever rat into you. They make up a whole like mythology and like, oh, you've been around for thousands of years and here's a bunch of technology to get you kickstarted because I don't want to wait. But you invented that. You've always had that. It's been amazing for you. You guys are so cool. I am your god. I'm the Lord, your savior, Padon. But then Mitos, he got bored and he left. He wanted to go look for something else.
They do that a lot.
Nobody quite knew what. Like. And Padon, he was kind of in love with Mitos, I think. He didn't really know what to do without him. He became obsessed with finding where Mitos went, and he sent out all these probes looking for him. And
he's just not that into you, bro.
Yeah. And if he found him, he was going to tell his drive to come back.
Hijack him?
Yeah. And interestingly enough, your ship, Sam, has Mitos's call sign.
Interesting. I was going to say, why was your warp drive even compatible with these probes?
All of humanity, so all of the ships, all of the drives, as it turns out.
This is why you think maybe Mitos had something to do with the warp core manufacture people.
So it seems like the Viroki. I don't know if the Viroki were created by Mitos, but they definitely ran into him. And they definitely got a hold of the blueprints they definitely got a hold of his jump drive.
That's why they're like that. You said they were a living organism.
And they slavishly copied the jump drive right down to the call sign that was embedded in it. All of the jump drives in Konoha's space have Mitos's call sign. Any of them would have been abducted. It just happened that it ran into this one first.
Because the Viroki don't even understand their own technology because it's not theirs.
They have no idea how it works. They just know that and they've been producing an exact copy over and over and over again and selling them to other people.
And obviously you keep that to yourself, that you have no fucking clue.
Yes. You say trade secrets. I have no idea. They have some idea because in the last war they were able to send commands to it.
Yeah.
So they're figuring it out. But yeah, they basically that's how this happened. And that's also why when you warped into the system, nobody gave a shit. Because we thought you were him. We wondered why you weren't just landing, but you had his call sign, so nobody really thought, like, you had his jump drive basically, so nobody really thought it was a problem. Then when we found out,
shit,
like they assumed he had just gone and created another sentient species, and you guys were them, and he was on this ship somewhere, or he sent you.
Oh, that's why you said it was real weird when they said, "Who's your guardian?" And he was like, "We don't have a guardian."
Yes.
And they're like,
yes,
but you should.
You driving a guardian ship. Yeah. And so that's why
you're selling me on this book.
Yeah.
Probably going to end up reading the prequel.
It actually all fit together pretty neatly. So the Guardians also, they don't have like a chain of command. They don't really have a government. Each Guardian is just kind of doing its own thing. The Guardians themselves have a gift economy, where there's no money exchanged. It's just,
then you failed to simulate an economy.
Well, it's
try again.
No, this is a thing I've heard proposed like as an alternative to capitalism. Like presumably
incorrect. There is no alternative to capitalism.
Presumably this is like a kind of hunter-gatherer thing. Certain animals do this. Some plants even do this.
Yeah, so that way we shouldn't be doing it because we're better than them.
Yeah, but basically you give if a guardian gives another guardian a gift, that guardian who received the gift is now indebted.
Oh yeah, that's the thing
favor.
that humans do.
You owe me a favor. And so,
or they give gifts to show like I'm wealthy. Look at all these gifts I can give people.
So the currency really is status. And you don't want to, like, they still compete for status. They just don't compete for coin. So that's going to become relevant. And there's these hobbyists out there that really functions as their military. Only the hobbyists really bother having militaries or playing with war games because there's really no threat to these people. And yeah, each one is just kind of its own sovereign nation. Sometimes they work together, sometimes they don't. Doesn't matter. They each specialize in different things. Not every guardian knows everything about everything. They're all probably smarter than any of us, but yeah, because the first thing he asks is like, can you fix our jump drive? And she's like, nah, not a jump drive engineer. But she does tell him that once upon a time, they did manufacture jump drives in this system, and they did it on this one particular moon around the gas giant, which is good because you need to go there anyway to refuel.
Right.
Catch. So there was once a group of Desties that tried to rebel against Padan.
Wow. I gave you guys life, ? And this is how you repay your god?
That's kind of the tone he took. And he decided killing them was too good.
But wait, hold on. Why are there so many guardians here if this is like Padan's territory?
They were just doing different researches. We don't really know. We don't learn in this book what the fuck Tiana was doing here. We do learn what several of the other ones were doing here, but we don't learn what Tiana was doing here. And presumably Mados had some secret agenda. But these Desties that rebelled, Padan, he took them and he made them immortal so that he could torture them forever.
Oh.
And they're
how nice
on that moon we're sending you to. It is a hell world where they do hard labor for eternity. And they are also the jump drive engineers. So if you want to know how to make a jump drive, we're going to have to talk to them.
Well, good.
Uh,
Are there any guards on this hell world?
Well, it's funny that you should mention that because about this time in the conversation, 7 giant ships warp in.
I wish you would have talked a little faster and told me this like 4 days ago, because we could have been gone by now. That's a problem.
Well, she tells it to them about as they're going to the place about as fast as they can go without revealing where they are. So these 7 ships warp in, and they call them long ships. They're these sleek metallic vessels.
But they're alive.
They're alive.
They can feel pain and presumably fuck.
They can feel pain, and Tiana actually mentions that one advantage the humans have is that they don't have to convince their ships to fly into danger.
Yeah, we stopped doing that when we got rid of horses.
Yeah.
Horses didn't like charging into spears. They not a good time.
Yeah, so
it's also why war elephants seemed ineffective if you left a lane open for them to just run away. They'd go down the lane and avoid impaling themselves on spears.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I'm on Team Elephant. I would also not run into some spears and die.
Yeah. So, I mean, it worked for Rohan. Tiana also explains the weapon that was used, because it is also going to be the primary weapon on these ships.
The one that shot through the planet's core.
Yes. Okay. I'm also not a physicist. So hang on. I went back through in the afternoon before we recorded, and I looked this up. So the weapon that fired at them, she asks him, what do you call the subatomic particle that transfers the nuclear force between elements of the nucleus? I'm familiar that there is a nuclear force. He asks if she means the strong or weak nuclear force. She replies that there is only one. What you're calling the weak force is a special case of electromagnetism. What particle transfers the strong force? He calls that particle a meson. Then she says the weapon which fired at you is a meson accelerator. He says that doesn't make any sense. A meson could definitely go right through a planet or anything else without affecting it. So then how could it damage them? How could it be a weapon? Also, mesons only lasted a couple microseconds before decaying. And when they decayed, they mostly produced photons. And then it clicks for the ship's engineer. If you accelerate a beam of mesons, as long as they're still mesons, they go through anything. But when they decay into photons. And a laser is just a coherent stream of photons. If you could control the wavelength of the decaying photons, you could make that light stream coherent, and then you'd have a real weapon. And the problem of the particle lasting only 2 or 3 microseconds is solved by launching it at relativistic speeds, so that for the meson, it is only a couple of seconds, but in reality, it has traveled for minutes, perhaps. Or not in reality. At relative for us, it's a couple minutes. For them,
ship not have lasers?
We have lasers, but we don't have a thing that can fire through something and only hit the thing we want it to hit. So basically, they have a laser.
Well, I mean, everything here is an enemy, so
yeah, we're not.
I don't need.
So he actually asks her, "Why don't you just use nukes like we do?" And that would go back to their war gamers. We're not trying to like destroy the board here.
It's reminding me of ogres. They had those guys who, we'll We'll use these old-timey weapons because that's what we're familiar with when we do our little war games.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. I imagine there's a lot of people in the tabletop role-playing space who come to the conclusion that what they're doing would be really fucked up if it were real people, but they'd probably keep doing it. And they do have a problem that they haven't solved with the meson accelerator, in that they can't get the photons to all decay to exactly the same wavelength. So there is a visible glow and they can kind of see where you're shooting. So we can detect where they're aiming. We can detect where they're firing the mesons. We can't detect when they'll make it a laser. That's up to them. But that's what we're up against. They can shoot through anything and hit us.
But they missed us last time, so...
Yes. Because that's another interesting thing. Because they're not constantly at war like humans, they're not very good at it necessarily. And the ones that aren't here. The hobbyists aren't here. These warships are actually being led by Padan himself.
Hell yeah. Fire nukes.
Who wants to know why Mitos, his precious Mitos' drive has these humans attached to it.
He's inside of our ship. Come on over. We'll let you see him.
They aren't communicating with anyone yet.
Well, yeah, they don't even know where they are, right? They haven't found them yet.
Yeah. So, but they can tell from, like, they can monitor the chatter. They're not broadcasting anything. Like the Cameron Bay, the humans can monitor some of the communication going on throughout the system. The ships,
right? Because you said that they use like messages in bottles.
But they also then within the system they can also use like radio. The warships, there's 7 of them. One of them orbits.
I thought you said there were 5.
There's 7. Sorry, 7.
Shit.
One of them orbits. Well, they immediately start making mistakes, and you're going to notice that they're mistakes. But the explanation for that is that Padan doesn't really know what the fuck he's doing. He's never commanded. He's never commanded.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he's never commanded troops in battle.
It's better than the Burning God, where they're like, Nezha keeps fucking up. Why is he fucking up? Oh, he must be luring us into a trap, and there was no trap. We know he was just fucking up. He's just a dumb idiot, apparently.
No, so he's not very good at it. This is the first time commanding troops in battle, and it's the Saruman problem of how hard could it be?
How hard could it be? I've got soldiers. You're just a bunch of horse breeders.
Yeah.
What can you do to me?
If I can do advanced mathematics, surely I can command men in battle, because I am technically smarter than the guy who commands men in battle. It's a mistake people make, and it's called out pretty much as that right from the get-go. So his first mistake is splitting up the ships. So one circles the main planet that presumably has Padan on it, and then the remaining 3 divide into groups of 2 and
wait a minute,
start searching the system.
Remaining 3 ships.
So there's 7. No, I'm sorry, 6.
You're confusing me.
I'm dividing things too much.
There's
6 ships divided
2 groups
into,
or 3 groups.
3
of
groups
2.
of 2.
Okay.
So 3 groups of 2.
What a weird way to... Yeah, what a strange thing to do.
Yes. He's just trying to find him. He's like, find him. And that's what they do. And
they don't have smaller ships to do the finding or like probes or anything.
Right. So he asked...
My battleships are here for battle. My probes... or destroyers, they're going to find you.
Yeah, so...
they're going to explore.
Bitka asks...
I've played Endless Space 2. Put me in the game, coach. I'm ready. I think I got this.
Okay, so this is where the economics comes in. Tiana tells them that Padan doesn't... these aren't his ships. He had to borrow them from a hobbyist. Because they're the only ones that have militaries.
Wow.
So he had
what a loser Padan must be.
Yeah, so that's the thing. And she said that because it's a status-based transaction, this is about all Padan can borrow without becoming lower status than the guy he's borrowing from.
Oh, okay. If these ships blow up, does Padan is that going to reflect negatively on Padan?
Yeah.
Is he going to owe that guy?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Oh boy.
So somebody has lent them to him, and that's why he doesn't maybe even have what he needs for the mission. He's just like, I need 7 warships.
Yeah, but you don't know the capabilities of your opponent. So
he thinks he does because he knows what happened on the Desti planet. He knows that they deployed nukes and they deployed lasers, and he's thinking, well, our meson particle accelerator will fire, will blow them out. We've got 7 ships, they've got 1. But then he immediately divided his forces.
2 ships.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got 2 ships per engagement.
So based on that, they still have some time before they reach the gas giant. They're flying at sublight speeds. They've got days, weeks, maybe. So they start running simulations on how would we fight one of these things. And they do come into a bit of a problem in that the meson accelerator way outranges them. It can shoot them before. I think the best way to describe it is they deploy their missiles. They calculate a certain velocity that they think they could reasonably accelerate to, and still
they're going to have to ambush these ships.
Yeah, so they calculate a velocity they could reasonably accelerate to, with time to launch the missiles and stop before they get in range of the particle accelerator. And unfortunately, that still leaves the missiles with like 20 minutes of travel time unprotected for the meson.
Just be shot.
Yeah, for the meson accelerator to take them out. So they run the simulation. They can't get past that barrier. And
what about their lasers?
Well, eventually they bring in the diplomat guy. The remaining.
Oh, I thought he was eaten. They
bring in his translator.
Okay.
He's the new diplomat. You got promoted.
You got a promotion.
So they bring in the diplomat guy, and he's like, this could be, I think his actual words are, this could be a really stupid question, but why is that as fast as you can? Why is that the maximum velocity? Like, can't we accelerate indefinitely? As long as we have fuel. And he's like, well, yeah, but like, that's with like, if we're estimating like how much time, like when we would know that they're coming for us, could we start accelerating? And he's like, well, what if you choose the engagement? Like, what if you accelerate at them, get up more time? Because they're thinking like, we start accelerating, every ship's going to start converging on us, so we don't want to fight until we absolutely have to. And they start. Let me look. I think I marked this because it was important. I knew you were going to ask questions about it. They're counting on not having more than an hour of warning before an engagement. And then the guy asks, would you be able to increase the closing rate if you had ample warning? And they say that's a very big if. Besides, the acceleration would take 10% of our total reaction mass and then another 10% to decelerate afterwards. It's a big investment and we don't have fuel yet.
That's fuel?
Yeah. And so they keep talking about that. And he said, with them split up like this, maybe they could choose an engagement with 2 of them. And then he worries about the possibility of them trying an in-system jump. So they have working jump drives. They could theoretically jump from, say, like Earth to Jupiter. The reason you don't do that is because if you jump into a point of space that contains matter, even a speck of dust, it will annihilate, like an antimatter matter annihilation with whatever particle of your ship collides with it. So they only do these jumps in deep space where there's nothing, or a high likelihood of there being nothing.
But this guy, fuck, what's the bad guy's name?
Padon.
Okay, I was like, it's not Ptah. That's like a god or something. Padon. Okay, but he wouldn't want to just straight up blow them up. He wants to first know why you got my boy's ship, or his ship core at least.
Yeah, I don't know. He does eventually start trying to kill them, I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
So he's like, if we do pick, somebody suggests, now this is funny because I thought of Star Trek The Next Generation again. If they do pick the time of engagement, they could decouple the main hull from the habitat wheel, the wheel that rotates for artificial gravity.
Yeah.
They can actually detach from that, like the Enterprise can detach from the dish for battle mode.
Yeah.
And they'll lose that weight, and then they can accelerate even faster.
Okay.
So they've found a way to, like, if they choose the engagement, they can have a greater velocity. And if they ditch the wheel, they can have a greater velocity, and by choosing the engagement, they can choose a safe place to leave the wheel. And the one guy says, well, they'll still kill the missile. It only takes one shot. And somebody says, if we can cut the transit time down to something like 10 minutes, the missiles have to be in the air undefended, or in the space. He says we may be able to confuse their firing solution for that long. I don't know if we could do it for 30 minutes, but for 10 or 15, maybe we could find a way to make it hard enough to hit. And he says we can't do much more than jamming, but we could do decoys. The Mark V missiles, the big nukes, they have built-in decoys. So when they launch, they will automatically launch a series of decoy missiles. And those are basically just radar reflectors. The missile itself has almost no thermal signature. This is important because it's designed to be fired from a coil gun cold. It's designed to fire from the gun, and it has no rocket attached to it.
Okay.
So it gets its velocity from the gun. It does not accelerate on its own. The Mark IV missiles they have, which are slightly less powerful, they do have rockets. He's saying we could also fabricate separate missiles that don't have any payload but look like real missiles, and we could fire
fabricate shit.
Yeah, they have a machine shop and they have some supplies.
Okay,
so they can do that, and they can make a decent. They call it package. They're going to fire packages, so they've got packages of decoys that they can embed a real missile in, and they also learn from Tiana that there is a 10-second reset cycle for the meson cannons, which gives them the ability to fire 60 shots in 10 minutes. And they calculate that we can deploy way more targets than that. So all we have to do...
But do we have enough to take out all the ships? I mean, I know we're fighting 2 at once, but I assume when we blow those 2 up,
so
the remaining 5 ships...
Yeah, so far we've the Mark Vs are the real... that's our ship killer, and that's what we got to ration really carefully. We've got a decent amount of Mark IVs, but we were only transporting Mark Vs. This isn't part of the ship's like loadout. The Mark Vs, they have... I'm going to tell you, I think they had 35 to start. They fired 3 so far. One of them, if it hits, would be sufficient to kill a ship. The tactical guy is proposing 3 or 4 live missiles be deployed with all the decoys. So that means each time they attempt this, they're going to shoot 3 to 5 Mark 5 missiles, which gives them maybe just enough for 7 ships. It's a close one. It's a desperate plan. Their real plan right now is to maybe deal with 2 ships, get to the gas giant, scoop the mass, get to the moon of the gas giant, find somebody to fix their jump drive, get the fuck out. They're not planning on destroying all 7 ships. So that's why they kind of have hope. So it is coming up on the point where they are going to have to break their shadow. Their shadow is heading deeper into the solar system. They need to head into the gas giants. And once they break the shadow, they're going to be seen. Are you still there, Nate?
I'm here. I'm absorbing all this.
Okay, I can't. You don't turn your webcam on, so I can't gauge if you're into this or not. So I took notes on this because
good.
I needed this is
as you should.
This is one of to tell you where we're at in discussions of a possible part 3. This is the first of 3 major military engagements.
All right, so we're getting to part 3 is what you're telling me.
If you're into it, if you want to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm into it, and everyone else should be too. I think everyone listening to this should go buy this book so that this guy will write a 3rd one.
I really hope the guy who did the cover is not like his wife.
Apparently, I think Reddit said some dude, so I think we're good.
I hope it's not his best friend.
I think it was a guy who... hold on. What I saw... Don Mates?
So here's the thing.
Don has twice won the Hugo Award for Best Professional Artist.
Here's how this starts going down. It's time to break shadow. They start accelerating. They get the missiles loaded. They get a tight beam communication from the ship they were shadowing. It was supposed to be like an automated ship. There was no crew. But as you remember, these ships are alive.
Oh, yeah.
And the ship sends them a message that was like, hey, it was nice flying with you. Made the journey a little less lonely. And
thanks, I'm going to go kill your god now.
No, Bitka has them send back like, thanks, it was an honor. he's nice to the ship. So, Sam Bitka, nice to children and small animals, large animals in the case of this. So they start accelerating. They get the missiles loaded. The 2 nearest ships begin accelerating towards them, but they're like way too far away. Part of the reason they decided to start accelerating is because nothing can reasonably reach them before they accomplish their goals. Barring the very risky in-system jump.
Oh, are those other ships going to do an in-system jump?
I think they're going to be ordered to do an in-system jump.
And they have to convince these ships, hey, it'll be fine.
Yes, and remember, these are loner ships. If you in-system jump into a speck of dust, your ship is fucked. If you in-system jump into a decent-sized rock, you're going to explode.
Yeah, if you hit a speck of dust, is the entire ship destroyed?
It's going to cause... He calls it an annihilation event. I assume that's matter-antimatter, which is going to release a ton of energy. So even for a speck of dust, it's probably going to punch a hole in your hull.
Damn.
That's why it's very risky to jump, especially towards a gas giant with its high gravitational pull. Some of them have rings. So,
whoops.
This would be a thing that like maybe a more seasoned commander would not order his troops to do. And maybe the troops start to suspect that. So he begins accelerating.
Everyone jumps in. His entire fleet explodes.
He doesn't jump his entire fleet in. He also finds out from Tiana that the Guardians do not allow their client species to travel interstellar. They can make the drives, they can pilot the ships, but they don't just get to travel out of their system willy-nilly.
Wow.
And that no Guardian...
You're shitty Guardians.
No Guardian would ever risk an in-system jump for themselves.
Yeah. Are you crazy? There's a bunch of debris and shit near that gas giant. I'm not doing it.
So, as soon as they start accelerating, they instantly get, and by instantly I mean it takes 15 light minutes or whatever, however far away. This is, I think it might actually be a couple hours. They get a radio communication delayed a couple hours from Padan, who is just the most annoying, tantrum throwing. He just starts giving villain speeches. He's like, Bitka, I'm gonna make you live forever so I can spend eternity tearing you apart. I'm you stupid inferior creature. I'm gonna kick your ass. Bitka talks to him a couple of times, and he starts calling every single gap. Like as soon as he gets a reply, he's you can see him typing, and so they talk a lot, and Bitka just keeps taunting him and telling him, oh yeah, your men blow up real good. He just keeps ragging on him, and it's pissing him off. It's visibly pissing. He's not used to being disrespected. So then he gets a message from Padan that's like, this goes on for days, because that's the scale of travel we're dealing with here. And he finally gets one from Padan. He's like, oh, it's nice knowing you, Bitka. You're fucking dead now. And then he hangs up. And then 2 ships jump in. And one of them...
Yeah, I was like, at least one of them's getting the antimatter.
the crew, they start the battle clock. There's a battle clock. It's very organized. It's like point by point. He tells you right off the bat, we're gonna fire Mark IVs, and those are labeled, and he uses these call signs for the rest of the engagement: Hot, Alpha, Beta, Charlie, because they have rockets on them, and then there's a cold Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta, Echo for the Mark Vs. So the tactical officer's like, they're deploying some kind of shield or something. There's something like around their ship. I've never seen this before. And Bitka looks at it. He's like, I've seen this before. They hit a speck of dust. That's not some crazy fancy shield. That's their atmosphere. So, he's like, they're cooling down. I think they have stealth mode. He's like, nope. They're
dead.
Yeah. So the remaining ship starts in on them, and they start their acceleration run, and he comes up with a strategy because they're in all their simulations, they weren't engaged in like a gravity well, so they're coming at each other kind of like not head on, like oblate. I don't know what you'd call this.
Yeah.
And
the Wrath of Khan, where Khan's thinking in 2 dimensions, but we're fighting him in 3.
So the angles are very important, because the meson cannon is such that you got to rotate the whole fucking ship.
Why?
So Bitka realizes something that Padan didn't. These ships are not designed to be used 1 at a time or even 2 at a time. This species that pilots these ships fights in a phalanx.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like a line or something.
Yes.
you have muskets and you put as much fire out as you can.
Yes, they've got these incredibly long range weapons, and they'd go in formation where they can rotate and different like flanks can be covered and all this. One ship on its own is very limited in this way. So Bitka, because they're at an angle to each other, he starts firing the packages in various vectors, and he manages to get it like from the first package. The first 3 packages I think fire, and then he gets he risks flying into their range to make them choose between firing at him and firing at the missiles. And once he does that, he also starts hitting the thrusters on the Mark IVs, so they go hot and draw a lot of attention. And when they destroy them, there's a big boom. They're obviously not decoys. So that makes the enemy think that when they've taken out a Mark IV, the rest of them are decoys.
Yeah, but except the Mark Vs are cold.
The Mark Vs are cold.
Yeah.
So he also fires a Mark V between him and the
Can
ship.
their lasers do any damage to these ships?
They'd have to get way closer.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So they'd have to, like, the meson cannon outranges their laser. I mean, it's like a short sword to a spear. Like, not even close. The lasers are really more of a point defense thing. The primary way we fight in space is still missiles. And so they also the alien ship fires packets of like irradiated sand, which is designed to like mess with sensors and also prevent you from like flying at them too close, because if you hit a speck of dust going that speed, it's still going to be a big deal. So they're firing out this screen that takes out some of the missiles, some of the decoys, but it obviously doesn't get everything. And Bitka puts one of the Mark Vs between him and the enemy ship, and he detonates it before it would be in effective range to hurt them. The detonation fucks everyone's sensors. It's a giant EMP. It's a nuclear blast. So they aren't, and then he immediately has them change course, and he's dictating like acceleration to degree whatever, like it's very technical in the book, but basically he instantly changes their trajectory, and the meson cannon fires past them. It fires, I think, 1.6 kilometers in front of them, and Bitka begins cackling like a madman. And the crew is like, "What the fuck are you laughing at? We almost died." And he's like, "They missed us by a mile. They missed us by exactly a mile." He loves that. And
I'm with him. That's fucking hilarious.
So he fires off, he's fired 3 missiles, 3 of the Mark Vs, and then the 4th one to obscure his the sensors. I think he detonates another one to obscure the sensors to prevent another shot on his own ship. And then the enemy, having taken out all the Mark IVs, not realizing that these other ones are running cold, or maybe just realizing it when they start detonating, takes a hit. They get a confirmed detonation on the hull with a Mark V, and the ship is just bleeding atmosphere into space and loses all power. And the thing I like about the book, now I will say this is an entire chapter. Every decision is meticulous. Like, he tells you all the details of every package that was fired, what was in it, how they've steered the ship, what they were accelerating at. There's a little bit of drama in that it's difficult for them to load the missiles because their ship's not really designed for these Mark Vs. So it's actually like heavy work. And they've been getting away with it by loading them in 0G, but they can't do that if the ship is under like 1.5 G of acceleration. So he has to detonate the bomb to screen while he stops the ship so it goes to 0G so that they can load it and then fire it, and then he accelerates again, and he's always like turning it and trying to like knock him off course, and he's banking on the enemy not realizing that there are actually the Mark IVs are a distraction, and that the real missiles are hidden in the decoys that look exactly the same, and they basically have no signature whatsoever. So he takes out that ship. The other ship is still venting atmosphere, and he makes a bit of a controversial decision.
Fire a missile at the venting ship. Get it?
No, he is not Pete Hegseth. He
kill everyone.
He opens a channel to the ship, and by the way, they've discovered by monitoring the chatter that the language they've been translating, it's the Guardians' language. All the species, the Guardians use this language, the Desties use this language, these new aliens use this language.
Wow.
It may be the only language they've ever come across.
Yeah, you guys are idiots. We saw in Snow Crash, you gotta diversify that language, dog.
Yes, they're very vulnerable to the Numshub of Enki. So he hails them, and they're like, okay, Bitka, you've got us. What are you here to gloat while we die? And
yes.
he tells the translator who was recently promoted, we're gonna make a deal here. He's like, I'll tell you what, do you surrender? If you surrender, disable your weapons, and we will offer you whatever aid we can to stabilize your ships until you can get rescued. And that's where the chapter ends.
Ah.
And that is a controversial decision for his crew, who are like, they're just going to come back and attack us. And he says, hey, we're still going to adhere to the Articles of War, and you never know, it might plant some seeds in their mind.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard this other guy? He's a tool. He ordered them to jump into a speck of dust.
He ordered you to do a suicide jump, and I'm helping you repair your ship. So maybe this will pay dividends. Who knows? They also find out that this new species is called, oh boy. Well, I'll find the name of these things eventually, but they're basically like beetle creatures. They're all female. They're insectoid. They are able to cobble together some assistance for them, and some medical for them, even though it's a totally alien species. It's mostly first aid stuff, but it's better than nothing. And yeah, they adhere to the rules of engagement and gentlemanly warfare. And now they are ready to turn their sights on this moon.
Hellhole.
So yeah, if you're still into it,
I am.
We'll do a part 3, and we'll see.
Goddamn right.
We'll see how Bitka manages. There is also another Guardian on this moon, and she is a geneticist.
Ah.
And she That's her passion. So,
and she made these people immortal so they could suffer forever.
Yeah, wasn't her idea, but she also didn't.
And
really
I
care.
pulled out my gun.
But it's going to be important that she's a geneticist. So,
because she's going to do something with the warp drive.
Yeah, and I think the terms Bitka negotiates is basically that they will surrender for at least like a minimum of 3 days before they try to resume any activities, and he's hoping to kind of be gone by then. Spoilers, he is not. And yeah, so yeah, I guess we'll resume there, and we'll see if we'll see how he can get back. Well, I'm glad you're having fun. I hope the first book is as good. I don't know if it's going to have as much of the
Me
fun.
Too.
Like I like the fun alien stuff. I'm sure it'll have plenty of the military stuff. I don't know if it'll have as much fun alien stuff. But I like the Guardians.
He does not write books very often.
No.
Well, no, maybe 2 in 2013, then 1 in 2015, then 2017, then 2020. So
yeah, he's actually been on.
Where's the 2023 or 2024? Come on.
Yeah, that's why I worry about him. I don't know. I was trying to Google like what's this guy doing, but as you might expect from the marketing here, not a huge social media presence, Frank Chadwick. And if you try to Google any of it, like any of the stuff he's working on, you just get articles about people who are enjoying his many tabletop role playing games in 2025, which is lovely. But I want to know what happened to the bird people. I've become my wife. What happened? What is going on with the bird people? So, yeah, that's where we're at. All right. Well, I guess
Yahoo groups.
God, is that even still online?
The fuck?
I don't think I've looked at Yahoo groups since.
Site can't be reached.
I don't think I've looked at Yahoo groups since 2001.
Yeah, I'm thinking like
literally
GeoCities,
9/11 world. I think 9/11 ended Yahoo groups. No, so you know what? You know who I hope is into this at least a little because they're getting 3 parts of it.
Your wife.
Yeah, Spooky Shy with a Y over on TikTok and Words About Occult Books. We just recorded an episode. Words About Occult Books. It was a lighthearted episode about a pop cult book.
He's on LinkedIn.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Jamie, the gravy man of the If You Want the Gravy movie blog. I haven't watched any movies recently. Last thing I saw was...
I don't even know. Do they still make movies? Or is it all just Netflix originals?
I saw Sinners recently.
Oh, I guess there's Avengers Doomsday is being made. They brought back Captain America, so...
Yeah, so you know it's going to be good. They're definitely not desperate.
You know it's going to be excellent, yeah.
And of course,
there was a comment I saw that was even better than what the trailer did, where instead of being like, Captain Steve Rogers will be in Avengers Doomsday or whatever, just said Steve Rogers ... is doomed. I'm like, oh, that's actually way more effective marketing just by changing a simple letter. All right.
I can't wait to find out how he got young again.
Well,
thus undoing the end of the previous movie. Maybe.
It's just like Joe Biden.
Maybe Tony Stark can just be alive again too, and we can just go back to the days when people spent money on it. But John Bierce is also an author, and John Bierce has read like every book I ever mentioned on this podcast and can tell me about their authors, which is a good thing. He is the author of The Rack, Mage Errant, and More Gods Than Stars.
Jacob Lansky doing whatever the fuck he wants, motherfucker.
And last but not least, Isekai Sensei Sama of the That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcast. You should check it out. They do Shonen Jumping the Gun, where they cover new Shonen Jump series, and there have been a few new Shonen Jump series that aren't terrible, which is a welcome change. And there's actually one about wrestling.
What?
Yeah, Alien Headbutt. A pro wrestler has to fight aliens. It's actually pretty good. It's one of the better starts to a series I've seen in years, literal years. Listen to the Shonen Jumping the Gun episode. And that's it, I think. Join us next week when we talk about sexy owls and military conflict. Living the male fantasy here.
Bye-bye. Bye.